It's been around 2 years since Spider-Man Into Spider-Verse released in 2018. This movie was loved by almost everyone, and it popularized the Spider-Sona trend. A Spider-Sona is when you take Spider-Verse's message, everyone can be Spider-Man, and make it literal by imagining a universe where you are Spider-Man, or create a new Spider-Man character overall. I tried making my Spider-Sona all those years ago, but I never ended up with something I was happy with, so in today's video, I'll be creating my own Spider-Sona and sharing my process with you. I will also try to give some tips so you can create your own Spider-Sona too, so let's begin. I started by drawing the proportions in a standard standing pose. It will not be very muscular because Spider-Man is often skinny and I'm skinny too, so... Once I was happy with the proportions and the pose, I proceeded to start designing the basic aspects of the costume. I went for a very clean look since I love how simple Spider-Man suits look. For example, Fear Foundation Spider-Man or the symbiotic black suit. The spider logo I went with was part of the whole suit rather than just being a logo. It really helped to set the sections of my suit. I liked sharp shapes, so I made it look pointy and triangular based mostly. I changed the eyes so they look better and more bug-like, and now it's syncing time. And while I'm at it, I want to explain some concepts with my Spider-Sona. First of all, I wanted to add more powers on my Spider-Sona. So as I'm very impatient, I wanted it to have high speed. Not like Flash or anything, just slightly faster than your regular Spider-Man character. Another concept I implemented was organic webs, just like in Sam Raimi's adaptation. So the devices in my wrists are manufactured so the webs I'm shooting get additional effects, for example, electrifying webs or something along those lines. Now let's go for the coloring, where I decided to go for a yellow and dark gray color palette. Not only because it's my channel color palette, but because I came to the conclusion that if I was Spider-Man, I would try drawing attention to me and being kind of a celebrity. So these colors look stylish and they also draw attention to the eyes, so the yellow feels energetic and that also fits with my speedy aspect. Something I recommend if you are struggling with your color or overall suit design is to dig deep into yourself or whatever character you want to portray as Spider-Man. Try to really think, what would you do in that scenario? What aspects of myself do I find the most defining and how can I apply them to a suit to represent them? Would you use your powers for good, personal, or greedy purposes? What does it mean to be Spider-Man? How far can you push the limits for your character while keeping the Spider-Man essence? For me, being Spider-Man means compromise and having fun with everything that you have to offer to the rest of the world. It could be your intelligence, your art, something to fight for. In this case, what Spider-Man has to offer is using his gifts and powers to fight for good and kindness. Now I'm making a drawing about my Spider-Man without a mask to see how he would look. He's basically me. I know it kinda gives regular Peter Parker vibes, but I think I kinda do in real life, so there's that. Another important thing to keep in mind is the world setting of your character. Mine is basically the same as this universe, so Spider-Man is a fictional character, and as I somehow got his powers, I made my dream come true by being Spider-Man. Imagine you're suddenly watching the news or something and it comes out that there's a random guy with superpowers like Spider-Man. That's the whole premise, as in slowly this world starts stepping into a sci-fi scenario with all the technological progress that we're making. Part of creating the background is your origin story. How did I even came to be Spider-Man? In my case, well, I was shooting a scene for a short film in an alley outside a biochemistry lab. The alarms in the lab went off, so my small crew ran away, but I stood there, thinking why did the alarm activate it in the first place? Then I froze. A spider bit me in the hand and it hurt a lot, but I didn't thought much about it. I went home feeling ill. Maybe it was poisonous and I was going to die, so I gathered my stuff and decided to go to the doctor, but I fainted before leaving the door. I woke up thinking it was all a dream, but how could it be? The spider bite, although healing, was still there. Is this happening? I did feel different, but as I looked at my phone I noticed I was going to be late for school, so I ran to the shower. But I got there in no time. I decided to skip school. And as I'm a big fan of Spider-Man, I went to an abandoned construction site and tested if I had the same powers as him. It turned out I did, and I started playing around, shooting webs, doing flips. It was a dream come true. I went back home excited and decided this suit. With some clothes I had, I spray painted a sweatshirt, went to buy some yellow spandex and fabric, and some cool looking giant glasses, and I finished putting this costume together. I didn't know where to start, and I looked for crimes around the city, swimming by and surprising people. Videos soon got viral, and I knew I had to make a verosuit. But how? Thankfully, there's a lot of YouTube videos about recreating the comic book Spider-Man looks, so I based my suit on that. And with a lot of trial and error, I got my own beloved Spider-Man suit. Now, as much as I'd like to be a smart technology geek, I am not, so how did I got my web modifiers? Eventually, as I grew in popularity, I met a friend with a capacity to create cool gadgets and devices, and we developed a model of web modifiers together. Now that we've established all that, it's time to make a comic book cover to represent the beginning of my spider journey. An important aspect about Spider-Man visually is the dynamism of his poses and the cool perspectives in the background. Since I wanted to represent the speedy aspects of my Spider-Man, I decided to draw him running, ready to shoot a spider web. I had to sacrifice the perspective since I was really happy with how the pose turned out and everything. But I fixed all that, changing the angle of the whole scene to give it that classic Spider-Man feel. Once I got the sky and the background ready, I went into Photoshop and adjusted everything to give the cover more personality and action. I fixed the sky angle as well as blurring some of the background to give it more character, and then I proceeded to add the title, which was tricky at first. You will see me try out a lot of stuff. But eventually I ended up with the Uprising Spider-Man. Why? Because he's rising up literally and figuratively here. Also, if I was Spider-Man, I would use my voice to try to generate a change, since I disagree with a lot of stuff that are happening in the world right now. I also added the phrase, heroes are real and this one is growing fast, to acknowledge both my speed and the fact that superheroes do not exist in this universe. I finished adding comic book aspects like the price tag and stuff like that. And that's it. My own Spider-Man comic book cover. I guess I'll hang this one out in my room sometime soon. This video took me longer than I expected to make. But that's it for now. Let me know in the comments down below if you liked my Spider-Sona and tell me what would you like to see next. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe and ring the bell to stay tuned for more content. Share this video with a friend to support my channel, and thanks for watching. See you all in the next video.